Okay, students, this is a stretching only video, stretching for all of my classes. I just felt with all of this computer work we're doing and sitting and Zoom meetings and just all kinds of stuff we're doing online and not being able to get out of our homes. So a good stretching video I thought would help all of us, me included. So that's what I'm giving you today. And you can use it anytime before you do your classes, for additional stretches after, or just any time of the week when you, especially if you've been sitting at your computer for a long time. This would be a great way to loosen up afterwards or stretch before you sit down to do your long-term work at the computer. We're going to start with just some breathing, so feet to get a little bit apart and parallel, and we're going to breathe out and up, inhale, out and down, exhale, and inhale. And exhale, keep that going. And inhale. And exhale, one more. Reach up and stay. Reach from your waist and just stretch through that side body. Reaching through your fingertips. Getting a little reach upward toward the ceiling, both with not just your arms, but your whole side area is stretching. For 4 more, and 4, 3, 2, 1. Press out and down. Now bring your feet all the way together so the inside borders of your feet are completely together. Arms alongside, palms facing back with straight arms. Really good neutral posture here through your trunk. Tighten across your low belly. Make sure your earlobe is over your shoulder and your shoulder over your center pelvis. So we're not doing that rounded kind of posture here. So check that posture. It's hard when you get all that tension from sitting. So try to widen your collarbone across your chest. And then we're going to bend the knees, keeping the heels planted, just our little tiny plie, and stretch. And when you do this, you're sliding down your wall, and you reach to shoulder height, press down, just warming up the body a little bit. It's important to warm up a little, get your circulation going before you stretch, because otherwise, you know, it's hard. There's not, if you don't have the blood flowing and the breath flowing, it's harder to stretch. And so that's why you're really focusing on right now on just warming up a little. Now we go to the feet in a Pilates V, or heels together in your small first position. And then the knees go over the second toe, and you stretch your inner legs. And we reach, and then it's like you're pushing through thick water or mud as you press. You're warming up the body again. Press, and exhale, press, and again press. And now reach up and circle around, keeping the shoulders down as you circle the arms, and reverse. Out and up, and down, out and up. Now we're going to do a little footwork to loosen up the feet and stretch them out a little bit. So go back to that parallel feet together, and you're lifting the right heel so the knee goes over your second toe, and press it down. So I'm lifting the heel as high as I can to stretch over that foot, keeping your toes spread onto the floor, and press the heel down and straighten the knee all the way. 1, press down, and 2, press down, keeping your abdominals active. 1 more for 4th one, and change sides, and press. Notice we don't want to roll out, keeping the knee over second toe, and press. Back to the first side, add both knees bend, so up the standing leg bends and the bent leg, and straighten both as you put the heel down. Bend and stretch. This is a good stretch for the feet and warming up the ankles and feet. And other side, lift the heel as you bend both knees, put the heel down as you straighten both knees. Bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Same thing in turnout. So no plie yet, just lift the heel, press it down. Lift the heel, press it down. Lift the heel, press it down, spreading the toes. Other side, heel up, heel down, heel up, heel down, press. And now we add both knees bending as you press the heel up and down. Heel way up and down. Make sure you're right over big and second toe with your knee, press. Other side, and press, and stretch, and press, and stretch, and press, and stretch. Last one. Back to parallel, feet a little bit apart. Now take your right shoulder, circle up, back, and down. Then the elbow circles, Elbow circles again, and then arm releases and the whole arm circles. Other side, shoulder, elbow, elbow a little bigger, and then arm. Again, right side, shoulder, elbow, a little bigger, elbow, full arm, and shoulder, elbow, elbow, and now both at the same time, both shoulders, little smaller elbows, little bigger elbows, and release and full arm circle. That again, both shoulders circle up and back, elbows, little bigger elbows, and full arm and around. Now go to your wide parallel stance, like wide open second, and you interlace your fingers, bend your knees, and as you bend your knees, your tailbone goes down. Then you're going to curve your back as you push your arms forward. Keep the tail tucked under a little bit here, and feel the back stretch. Press the arms out as you round your back, tail underneath, knees over feet. Keep that curve, angle to your right diagonal, but keep your pelvis in the center. Don't twist your knees and pelvis. You're stretching that side lower back. Then around to the other diagonal. Keep your pelvis in the middle. Feel that stretch. Back to center. Press your palms forward and up. Feel the stretches in your arms. Straighten your legs, reach up. Circle back. Interlace behind. Press straight down. Now, from there, just lift a little bit to feel that stretch in the front shoulders. Hold for a deep breath. And release. Now we're going to go on all fours. 4-point kneel. And again, you can put towels under your knees and under your hands if you need to for more support. This is your tabletop back. Knees under the crease of your hips. Hands under your armpits. Bond your shins to the floor, and make sure your head is not dropping down like this, bad for the neck. Press your chest away from the floor, head up in line, looking diagonally forward. Now cat back. We round and stretch our back like we did standing, but now we do it kneeling. So you're arching like an angry cat, arching its back toward the ceiling, and lengthen back to neutral. Tailbone sticks out toward the wall behind you when you're in neutral. Hollow and scoop the belly as you round the back, and then lengthen in both directions, looking diagonally forward of your hands. One more cat stretch, round it, and lengthen out. Now we're gonna take one arm, let's take your back arm away from me, and slide it under, palm toward the ceiling. Bend your other elbow as you go down, looking toward that bottom arm to stretch through the shoulder there. So I'm stretching my shoulder on that underneath side. Take a deep breath. Roll up. Change. Other arm, palm to the ceiling, slides under like you're threading it under. Let your shoulder, upper body twist, and your shoulder goes toward the floor as you bend your other elbow. Your sit bones are sticking up to the ceiling. And hold and stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And roll up. All right, then sit your hips back toward your heels and round over for this little rest position. And if it bothers your knees, open your knees apart, toes together but knees open. And sit back there and see if that feels okay to round over and stretch out your low back. Take a couple of breaths there. Good stretch for the shoulders as well. Now we're going to roll onto our back. So tuck and roll on your side and onto your back. Nothing under the head for this. And we're going to do this little exercise that we're calling floor angels. So with your knees bent and feet a little away from you, neutral pelvis and spine, so you're just laying in your neutral. Tighten your low belly to support you. And bend your arms and make a little goal post. And what I mean by that is kind of this position. And then bring the elbows to your waist. I'm sitting to show you so you can see, because when I lay down you might not be able to tell what I'm doing. And then while you're laying on the floor, you're gliding the arms up and around behind you to touch the fingers. And they're on the mat as you do this. and you're sliding them back around to this little tuck at the waist. But your arms and shoulders are on the mat. So I have my elbows at my waist, my palms on the floor, and then I glide my arm in that bent position all the way around like snow angels around, but I'm keeping the elbows bent behind me. Touch the fingers, then trying to keep the back ribs on your floor. Don't pop your ribs up. Keep those ribs down, and then you have a little diamond shape behind you, and then try to open those elbows a little bit more. Then bring it sliding back to your waist. Okay, out around above. Hold a second and feel your back ribs down, your elbows open. And if your elbows are a little off the floor, that's okay, but try to let them sink toward the floor. And then glide back to your waist. And again, inhale around. And exhale to the waist. And inhale around. Exhale to the waist. And one more, around and stay back again. Hold there, sink the ribs. Draw the elbows toward the mat. And then glide it back alongside and arms all the way down. Good. Okay, and then for our next one, we're going to do some seated, we're going to do let's do reverse bridge. So we're going to put the hands behind, and if this is challenging, don't worry about it. You can just hold it for a second. And we're going to pick the hips up. This is again stretching the shoulders and chest, and just try to hold there for a few breaths, and then sit it back down. And repeat that. Press it up. Hold it a second. Feel that stretch in the shoulders. And put it back down. And one more. Press it up. Hold it. And put it back down. And then just shake it out a little bit. And then we're going into some seated work on the chair. So you'll need a chair. If you need to pause and get one, go ahead and do that. And it can just be a regular dining room type chair. And we're going to use this for several things. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put it up here so you can see a little better. And for this one, we're going to be sitting. So I'm going to turn it this way. Hope I don't fall off here. All right, so you're sitting on your chair. And you're going to sit nice and tall. And we're going to do a couple of little things here. The first one we're going to do is a neck stretch. And so you want to, if your feet are not touching the floor, put a little book or something under there so your feet are touching the floor. And then you want to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to turn aside for a minute. So I don't want to be slumping. I want to get right on the sit bones and lift the low back, tighten the front belly like you're up against a wall, okay? So anytime you're stretching, you still want to be in good positioning. Now, lifting tall, keep one hand on the chair. So let's keep our left hand on the chair, and I'm grabbing right under the seat of the chair here. And then draw that shoulder down. Then the other arm comes up, and you're going to just take it over the top of the head and drape your hand to the side, like so. Now, never pull on the head or neck. I'm just using the weight of my arm to give me a little resistance. And I'm just going to let my ear tip toward my shoulder to your right side on your mirror. And in opposition, I'm holding that chair to pull a little on the side chair here in opposition as I let the head go to the side. And the weight of my hand, I'm not pulling, but the weight of my hand is giving me a little more stretch in that side neck area, which we get a lot of tightness there from sitting at the computer and or just sitting period for long periods of time, but especially if you're doing computer work. And we're just breathing here as we just hold this stretch. You always want to hold your stretches, ideally 30 to 60 seconds, but in this case, for this purpose, we're going a little quicker. We're holding them more like 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Now, just angle your hand a little toward the back side of your back ear. So you're turning the head a little diagonal as well as to the side, and the weight of the hand. And that changes the stretch slightly. And then keep a grip on the chair in opposition and feel the difference in that. You might feel a little different place where it's stretching. Remember, don't let your body tip over, it's just the head. Deep breath here. Exhale. And again, inhale. Exhale and release it all the way. Now we're going to do the other side. Grab under the chair with your right arm, other arm, your left arm over the top, drape over the side. Keep your head straight on though. I mean, not pulling forward at all. And then you're going to just tip the ear toward the shoulder. Just the weight of your hand there on your head to give it a stretch, and then pull down with the other arm, bracing against the chair, shoulder down so that you get that opposition. Feeling that little stretch through the neck and the upper body, possibly. Hold your stretch as you breathe. Stretching takes time, so you have to be patient. To get the results, you've got to put a little time into it. And we have more time now. We're not driving and out around, so we have time to do this. Now you're going to just angle it a little behind the back side of the ear, turn the head slightly on a diagonal and tip to the side, pull in opposition with the bottom arm, and feel that slightly different stretch. Breath. And again. And one more breath. And release that. Now, if that felt really intense, then back off a little. You don't have to go full extreme. Let's now reach your, again, take your left arm up vertical, and you're going to just do a side bend to your right side. Just feel a nice stretch there. And up and over. So it's all from the waist. Waist and up. You're supposed to from your side waist. Don't pick up your sit bones. Just tip from your waist over. Get a little side bend. So now we're stretching the side body here. And lift. And once more time, up and out. Now, hold here and just rotate and put your other hand on the bottom part of the seat of the chair and pull on it slightly as you keep your belly pulling in and up and your shoulders down. You might feel a stretch there a little differently. Then open and up. Grab on, up and over to the side first. Then just rotate, grab both hands on the chair, pull a little in opposition. Inhale and exhale there. Open back to the side and come up. Whew, yeah, that helped a little bit. And then now what we're going to do is a little bit of, let's take our chair out of the way for just a minute. And we're just going to do this little weird stretch. So you can use a wall, just a wall will be fine. And I'm going to angle this because I'm going to use a pole that I have, an upright pole. So let's say this is my wall, and I'm going to put my hand on the wall. So I've got my right arm on the wall with the palm against the wall. And I'm going to take my left foot forward in a split stance. And then I'm going to try to rotate so I have my left foot forward, and I'm going to try to just slightly rotate my upper body and pelvis a little bit toward the left diagonal. And you feel that nice stretch across here, yes? Yes. Hold and breathe. I'm focusing upper body because that's where a lot of our tension goes when we're sitting a lot or at the computer a lot. And release, change. So now you would put your left hand against your wall, and I'm just turning because mine's a pole, and put your right foot forward in a split stance. Pull your pelvis toward the front, and then try to twist a little more as you push against the wall. Or you can grab, if you have anything upright to grab, like I'm doing, that's fine too. It could be a door jamb, where the door is open, and you just grab the door jamb. That works really well too. And I'm feeling that stretch in that shoulder, chest area on that side. Woo. Deep breath. Exhale. One more breath. Exhale. And release that. Shake it out a little bit. Now we're going to do our overhead tricep stretch. So for this one, you just, you can sit or stand, and you bring your right arm up, tap yourself on your upper back with your elbow bent, then grab that elbow and pull it towards you for your tricep stretch. Nice deep breath here. And then switch. You have your left arm up, tap yourself on your upper back, grab your elbow, pull it towards you, and feel that tricep stretch on that side. Nice deep breaths. And then we release it, and you interlace your fingers, turn the palms to face forward, and press forward. You get that wrist stretch. And then reach up and open side. Good. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to, if you have a roller, grab it. Some of you do. I'll show it with and without the roller. So what we're going to be doing is our upper mid-back release work. Yeah, that area that gets really weak and overworked. So for the mid-back release, you're going to put the roller so that it's crosswise on your floor or mat, and then we're going to place your upper mid-back between the tips of the shoulder blades on the roller. I'll show you how to do it without the roller in a second. And the legs can be bent a little away, and then I'm going to cross my arms over in front, and then I'm going to just either let your head just be in line with your spine, or you could put some pillow behind there if you want to rest your head down. And I'm just going to just kind of rock a little forward and back in that little area. So you have to kind of pick your hips up just a little to do that. And if you're finding that's uncomfortable, then you can also just rock a little side to side in your upper body. But if you can pick your hips up a little, you can roll forward and back a little in that area. Now, let's say you don't have a roller, then what I recommend is, you know how we use that rolled towel, rubber banded together, that I sometimes use in our mat classes, for those that do that with me, between the legs. Just take that, it's kind of rounded little rolled towel. Put it right, let's start lengthwise, and put it right lengthwise in the upper mid-back. So I just lay it down and roll my back onto it so that it's above your waist on the upper back between the two shoulder blades. Then you can either rest your head in your hands and draw your elbows open and just rest on the towel here like this. You'll feel, if you're tied up there, you'll feel this. Or you can cross your arms in front and lay your head down. The reason I like to sometimes put them behind is it gives me more stretch in my front body too. And then you can rock a little side to side while you're there. And again, you can cross your arms in front at your chest if that feels more comfortable for you. Oh, I really like how this digs in there a little bit, even though it's just a towel. If you have small balls, you can do it on a small ball too. And then back to center and just sink on it. Take a couple of breaths. Exhale. And one more. Exhale. And then release your hands if they're behind your head. And try to open your arms to the side like a T shape. And you might feel some stretch just even opening here with your body on this little towel. Take some breaths there. Roll to one side, take it out, and lay down on your back, and just feel the difference. If you might just feel, oh yeah, that kind of opened up my upper back a little bit. It might feel a little bit more like it's melting open into the floor. And then let's plump up your towel again a little bit. And then let's take that same direction lengthwise and slip it under the back of the pelvis, which is that bony part between your waist and your tailbone. And it's right in the center on that bony part below your waist. And then let your arms be on the mat to help you balance there. And then just relax onto the towel and take deep breaths and just let your body sink, the weight of your body sink onto the towel. Inhaling and exhaling. And then you can rock just a little side to side. Don't fall off of it, but just a gentle, tiny side to side, just kind of massaging in that area a little. Yes, it's bony down there, but you're on a towel, so it shouldn't hurt too much there. It should just feel like you're massaging it a little. Then just lift enough to turn it the other direction so it's horizontal against your low back. And it's that part again below the waist. Don't put it on your waist. It's below the waist towards your feet, below your waist, but slightly above your tailbone. And now you feel more stable because it's lengthwise, but you're again just going to sink on it and take a couple of breaths here. And then while you're here, we're going to do a hip flexor stretch. Stretch your left leg out straight. Bring your right knee, grab behind the back leg, and pull that thigh towards your chest. Sink your bottom waist a little and tighten your belly, navel to your back waist. And you might feel the stretch in the front of the straight leg. That's your hip flexors there that sometimes get really tight from sitting a lot. So we're just giving it a little stretch there. And being up on the towel gives us a little more stretch. Bend the bottom leg, put the first one down, pick up the other leg, hug it in, straighten out the bottom leg in opposition. And this is again stretching the front of the hip area on the straight leg side. Let your back waist sink a little bit. It won't touch the floor, but you're just thinking of letting it not arch up though. You don't want it to pop up. Just let it hang in the space there. And then breathe into that stretch. Bend the bottom foot, put the top foot down, lift your hips enough to pull the towel out, roll down, and then just let that relax. You can feel, oh yeah, my low back feels more opened up. And we'll do a few tilts. So just scoop your belly to flatten your waist, just that little tuck, and then roll the tailbone down. Scoop and curl, roll it down, and again, scoop and curl, and roll it down. Okay, now we're going to grab our chair again. I'm already feeling better. I hope you are, just from that stretching we're doing. And you don't have to do all these stretches every time. I'm just giving you a whole sequence with this video, and you can stop it and fast forward and whatever you need to do for time. The next one I want to do with the chair is a kneeling stretch. And so again, you can put towels down. And you're going to be far enough away that you can go to a flat back with your forearms on the top of the chair, your forearm, your lower arm, and the palms toward each other. And you make this little tabletop. Let's scoop this forward just a little so I can get in a better position. Okay, and then I'm trying to reach my tailbone backward, and then I'm just pressing a little bit with my arms straight, shoulders down. I'm pressing a little bit downward through my shoulders a little bit so that I can get a stretch there. And so you're holding, inhale, exhale, nice tight belly, inhale, exhale. And if that bothers you too much, you can hold the outsides a little more if that's better. All right, roll it up. Put your hands on the edge and sit back to that rest position here. And then this also gives you a little stretch with your hands on the edge of the chair. And then round it up. Okay, next, let's do a seated spine twist. So sitting, extend your legs in front of you. cross your right foot over the other leg, bending the knee parallel. Then use your hands to help you sit real tall, so I'm pushing into the mat a little bit. Take your left arm across your right knee, bent knee, twist toward that right leg, reach your other arm back a little and look back over your shoulder, over your right shoulder. Try not to lean backward though, try to stay vertical, and you'll feel the stretch through the spine, maybe even the bottom hip and upper back. Inhale, exhale, release. Change sides. Cross the left over right, bending the knee. Sit tall, twist toward that bent leg, and the other hand behind, and then you're pulling that leg towards you a little as you twist toward it. Take deep breaths here. And release. Okay, now just sit on your mat. Bring the soles of your feet together far enough away from you that you can get up tall first. Relax your knees open. And then we're going to hinge to a flat back. And you can just grab your feet and use your arms to help lengthen your spine. I'm going to turn sideways so you can kind of see. My feet are not jammed in, they're out a little, and then you're going to hinge to a flat back. But relax your knees open. You'll feel the stretch in your upper inner legs, your low back, and possibly other places, depending on where you're tight. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Now you're going to round over. Keep the same position, but curve your spine. Let your head relax. And just breathe as you keep your abdominals actively pulled in. Careful not to hunch up into your shoulders, no tension there. Stretching the low back and the inner legs a little bit. And then roll it up. Now we're going to go to an easy straddle position. Just go where you can open your legs, and now we're all different, and so it's okay if your legs are closer together. And try to flex your feet with the knees and toes toward the ceiling. Then hinge to a flat back. Walk your arms forward a little and lengthen your spine out in that nice flat back again. Shoulders down, belly lifted, nice and tight, and breathe there. Then walk to your right leg, keeping that flat back. Try to lengthen out. Opposite sit bone anchored on your mat so you don't lift it up. Then walk to the center again. Then over to the other leg. Reach across and lengthen out. For some of us, this is pretty tough. So again, your legs can be closer together. Go where you can. Inhale and walk at center again, and then we're going to round over in the center and hold there for a couple of breaths. Roll up through your spine. Then rock your hips back and shake your legs forward. Good. All right. Now we're going to grab like a hand towel or a TheraBand if you have it. Take it around behind you, and I'm going to stand so you can see this. And you're going to go to a wide open parallel. And your towel is behind you in this wide open parallel. Now I'm going to just roll down and the arms go up, but belly is tight. And you're going to reach those arms up and pull out on the towel a little and let the head hang. And if you need to bend your knees a little, you can. And you're just going to hold this stretch for both your hamstrings and your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Never start with this one. I put it at the end because you have to already be a little stretched out for this one. Bend your knees, bring your arms down, And then roll up slowly through your spine using your abdominals to support you. And come back to standing. Okay. And then we're going to lay down on our back, or actually before we lay down on our back, we're going to kneel again on your mat for a low lunge hip flexor stretch. So in your 4-point position here, take your right leg and just grab it with your arm to bring it around in front of you. And you want the foot forward of your knee a little bit. See how I've got my foot in front of my knee. Then bend the knee over the foot as you press your hip forward. And then you might feel that stretch on the side that's behind you. That is the hip flexor you're stretching. If you already feel the stretch pretty much here, just hold it and breathe. If you want, you can place the hands to the thigh, lift the chest, and press the hip forward a little more to get a little more stretch. Take deep breaths. Ooh, balance. Good. Put the hands back to the mat. If you want for this next one, tuck the toes and straighten the back leg in that lunge position. Take a breath. This is tougher, so don't do it if you're not ready. Put the knee down again, untuck the toes, and then sit the hip back and bring the leg back to the other leg. And now take your left leg, use your hand to help you, get it around in front of you so that the foot's in front of your knee. Then bend the knee over the foot and press the hip forward. Lift the chest a little bit. Make sure your hips are forward of your back knee. And you might already feel that stretch there, and that might be plenty for you. That's fine. Or hands to thigh. Lift the chest as you press into your thigh and press forward with your hip. Feel that stretch there. Deep breath. And you always want towels under your knees if you don't have a cushioned mat. Back to hands to the mat. Tuck the toes under and stretch that back leg. This is optional. Only do this if you're ready for it. And then put the knee down and release that front leg. Let's do a standing quad stretch. So you can hold on to a wall or your chair. So if you have your chair, bring it around, put it in front of you or by your side. You're going to grab the foot with whatever hand, same foot. If you're doing left, it's left hand, left foot. And you bring the knees together. But what I mean by that is you don't want your knee out to the side like this. You want it down toward the floor. And then don't let your pelvis tip back. You want your pelvis to stay centered over your feet. Then press the foot into the hand and feel that stretch in the front upper leg, the quadricep. Quad stretch. Deep breaths here as you lift and lengthen, and good posture always when you're stretching. Don't want to be in bad posture when you're stretching. We want to hold. A lot of us are tight here because we're sitting a lot. Yeah, I am. So we want to hold this one a little bit. Deep breathing. Release. Then I'm going to just swing my chair around. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to bring the feet together, hold the chair, then right foot in right hand or whatever leg you didn't do. Remember, knees toward the floor together, and so you don't want to open to the side, and then you want to get your pelvis as forward and center as you can, and then, see I'm tighter on this side, you can tell, and then press the foot into the hand. Whew, yeah. Always have one side tighter than the other. Pay attention to that side. You might want to start with your tighter side, do the other side, come back and do the tighter side one more time. So you could always do that when you know you're especially tighter on one side more than the other. You're always breathing while you're stretching, focusing good positioning, all those things we talk about a lot in our classes. I already feel better. Hope you do too. All right, now one more breath. And now we're going to do a calf stretch. So you can still hold the chair, and I'm going to bring it up so you can see the feet a little bit more here. So on this one, calves are very important because your tightness is never just the back of the leg. It goes all the way down to your heel. So you want to do your calf stretch. So if you bring your feet together parallel, step back with your right foot in a parallel position. Don't turn out. and your back heel down with your front knee bent, and then try to press the hip forward a little bit. And again, you might be really tight, so you may not go that far back like as I'm going. You might have to bring it in a little. And then try to press the hip forward, as I said, but keep the heel on the back foot down and parallel. Do not rotate it outward. Don't let your toes face out and your heel come in. You want to keep it straight on. And then you breathe as you hold that stretch, keeping the knee straight on the back leg. Don't bend that knee, because then you miss part of the stretch. Two more breaths. And then you're going to switch. Bring your feet together, close to the chair. Take your left foot back. So you're in a split position. Get the back heel down, parallel, and bend the front knee. And then lift the chest upright, your pelvis pressing forward. And make sure you're in a stance where you can get the back heel down all the way on the floor. Straight knee on the back leg, and then belly tight in front, and take deep breaths. Shoulders down, no hunching in those shoulders as you stretch. And even though stretching takes some time, it's not something you can do quickly, the payoff is worth it. So carve out some time in your day to do your stretching. And sometimes having a video to follow is more motivating, so I hope you will find the video useful. We're going to do just a couple of more stretches to finish off. So one more breath here, and then release. Okay, now we can move our chair out of the way. We're done with it. Move it to the side. And we're going to do a couple of more quick stretches. The first one I want to do is we're going to do both of them on our back, is our thread the needle stretch, or the number 4 stretch where we cross the leg over. We're going to do that one first, but then right after that we're going to do a hamstring stretch with resistance. If you happen to own a TheraBand, please have it ready. And if you do not own a TheraBand, you can always use the longer bath towel twisted, or a strap of some kind that's long enough for you to hook over your foot. But if you have a TheraBand, we'll use that today. Okay, so we're going to lay down on our back in our hook position, and then cross right ankle over left thigh. Open the right knee. Now you've got like a number 4 in your legs. You're going to thread through around the middle and the outside of your back left leg to pick it up. Pull it gently toward you. Yes, your tailbone curls off the mat, but you're using your elbow on the right side to press the right thigh open. Your right leg is the one across. And then you're feeling that stretch on the outside of the back of the right hip area. And we breathe. And I know I do this one in our classes a lot of times, so most of you are familiar. Always a good stretch to do every day is this hip stretch, especially if you're sitting a lot. And then let's change. And you can always hold these longer than I'm doing on the video. So if you feel you want to hold it longer, pause the video and hold it longer. Ideally 60 seconds per stretch, as I mentioned, but anything around 20 to 30 seconds will be beneficial. It's nice that it's sunny this week. It was raining all last week, so this is a nice day today. I hope you're all well and doing well in these times we're in. All right, let's release that into our hamstring stretch. We're going to take our band, hook our right foot into the center of the band. Then we're going to choke up just a little bit on either side to grab, and find your position with the tailbone anchored and the leg straight. Bottom leg can be all the way straight or slightly bent, and your abdominals tight, and your back shoulder blades into your mat.
Don't let those ribs pop up off the mat, and keep the back shoulders down. Breathe as you hold this hamstring stretch. Take a small bend and stretch. One more bend and stretch, and then turn your foot inward, sole of the foot towards your center body. Feeling the stretch on the outside of the lower leg, take the leg slightly across the body, but don't let your pelvis rock off the mat. And back to front center, foot normal, open to the side diagonal, control it with your band so your pelvis does not come off the mat. Inner thigh stretch. And back up, and slip your other foot in to replace, switch out, and set up the other side, hold and breathe. Take a small bend, and stretch, and bend, and hold the stretch. Check your position, and turn the foot inward, sole of the foot towards your center body, and then take the deep breath here first, and then take it across the body slightly. Hold there. And return up, foot to normal, and open to that side diagonal inner thigh. And return up for one more breath. Bend your knees, release your band to the side, rub your hands out a little. Releasing any tension there. Shake it out. Hug both legs in from behind. Nice tuck in there, and then really rock a little side to side. Release that low back. Roll onto your side. All right, everybody, I hope that helped. Take one big breath. Exhale. Good job. Hope that helped to help me. I love it. Take care.